Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today we're at episode number 3 of popcorn. So this is the third set of a series where we're looking at multiple varieties of popcorn, all popped and prepared the same way, but I'm looking at the flavors and aromas of the corn itself, or what the kernel puts out when you cook it a certain way. And so I have 3 different kinds that are called Fireworks High Mountain Midnight Popcorn. So it's very dark purple, or almost black, they're trying to say. And I'd say more purple. But it's very dark. And then we have an Amish country popcorn from a sampler pack that's called purple on the label. And you look at them and some are a little more reddish and some are a little clearly purple. And so that makes sense. And then we have one over here called Fireworks Orchard Blossom Popcorn, which is very non-descriptive actually. But I'm looking at these in the bowls right here, and I see that these kernels, these pop kernels, are really white. And over here, some of these strike me as white, and there's streaks of yellow popped kernels going through there. So some of the flesh inside is more to the yellow side. And I see the same thing here. I'm seeing not so white of the flesh inside and then streaks of yellowness. So there might be 2 different varieties that mingled together, or some sort of hybrid that came unhybridized. I don't know how any of this genetic stuff works. But anyway, we're going to go through these and check the aromas and flavors of these black, blue, purple, dark things and see how they taste. But before I get my fingers all oily and messy, please let me get you to like this video, leave comments and questions down below, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to get notified when the new videos come out. I bought several sampler packs, and everything here came from a sampler pack. So these have nice big samples, come in 15-ounce bottles of several different kinds, several different fundamental kinds, and then they do some blends to try to fill out 10 or 12 or whatever they're trying to do. So I'm not messing with any of the blends here, I'm just messing with the plain kernels. And then the Amish country also has a sampler pack, and this one's called purple. And I look in and I see some look red, so we'll see what we're getting. So these all got popped the same way just a few minutes ago in rapid succession in my popper, which I demonstrated in episode 1. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the Fireworks High Mountain Midnight Popcorn. So there's black kinds, Black Jewels, famous in grocery stores, but High Mountain Midnight is very marketing sounding. So here, I'm getting that cooked oil, cooked umami, cooked savory note on the aroma. Wow, is that a herbal or peppery note? Huh. Yeah, it's kind of like black pepper or white pepper on the nose. Might be a touch bacony. Touch bacony or hammy. I'm not sure if it's the smoke or the meat. Wow, wild nose. Okay, a little more there than we've gotten on anything before, especially something so white. So, hey, this is promising. Oh, let it fall over. Next, we're looking at the Amish country purple. Here is a little less nose. Cooked something, but not really that umami, ham, bacon type thing. Okay, whoa, it's coming in there. I just got to get a little closer. I popped these on the stovetop in a whirly pop type device. It's really from Great Northern Popcorn Company. And so I don't really get many burned kernels, but there's something a little blacker than most. And I don't get a lot of unpopped kernels because I'm listening for that pop. So, noses are a little bit different, but might be along the same lines. Now, going on to the Orchard Blossom from Fireworks. Oh, that's a little different. It strikes me as more grainy and less umami, less ham, bacon, smoke, and more graininess. Something's cooked, but there might be a sweetness to it, which I don't know how you pick it up on the aroma. It might be an aroma that's associated with sweet things. And it's kind of blurring together. It's grainy is the sure thing. Grainy and maybe corn-like, but this is not the usual corn form I'm around most. So let's go into the tasting. So I'm going after the Midnight from Fireworks. I have a tiny bit more salt today. I've been saying 1/4 teaspoon of salt added to my 90 grams of popped corn. And it struck me as a little less, and so I moved it up to about 3/8 of a teaspoon. Right between 1/4 and 1/2, and it is salty enough. It might be too much, but I'll hang there for a while and see how it goes. So all of them have the same amount of salt. Some might fall off, but they all have the same amount of oil too. Good and salty, corny. There's extra flavors that might be something cooked, something umami. Maybe a cooked meat or a smoked meat. Faint, background, low, but definitely present and interesting. The salt is the strongest flavor. Corniness, an oiliness to the mouthfeel, since there's a couple tablespoons of oil in this thing. And that umami note, that's interesting. Might be smoky, might be earthy. It's hard to place exactly. So it's the best tasting thing in the series so far. Better than either yellow and number 1. Probably better than either red and number 2, which are very subtle flavors in those reds. This is good and a standout so far. Yeah, I don't know if the salt is helping or bringing out more things, or they're just better popcorns for what we're trying to do here. Cleanse, going on to number 2 here, which is the Amish Country Purple. Interesting, tasty, saltier than they have been before. So I think the salt level is definitely up. Corny, grainy. There's a brightness or a butteriness to it. Buttery or several things are going around in my head right now. Trying to figure out if it's more nutty, more earthy, more buttery. It's delicious. I like it. This is good. If I can keep it in my fingers, make it to my mouth. So I think both of these are equal in appeal and the level of the experience, but they're different flavors. They're very slightly different. I'm getting a little more corniness here and not the smoked meat aspect. A sweetness, a pleasantness, and maybe a buttery note without any real butter on it. Oh, wow. Amish Country Red's pretty good. Maybe the salt's making the wholesale change today. Now, into the Fireworks Orchard Blossom. Which doesn't really describe a color or flavor to me much. Orchard Blossom popcorn. Oh, that's a good flavor. Notice the extra salt. There's a corniness and a graininess to it. It's good. I'm thinking it's very similar to this one. Just trying to figure out if that buttery note is there. Maybe. It certainly has an oily mouthfeel, which may lead you to expect other things that are oily and often on popcorn. So there's the appearance of a buttery note, for sure. It's very attractive and wonderful stuff, just the way it is. Grainy. Maybe a touch of earthiness, maybe a touch of nuttiness. That's really faint and super subjective and maybe just made up. So I like all three of these. I'm thinking they're just better popcorns, or better for my palate. And then the salt increase has upped the game a little bit. Brought out more flavors or enhanced flavors that were maybe faint or hiding before. So that's my position for now. I want to talk about some other things and then go back through in the other direction, see if anything new pops up. So, one of my tasting worlds or universes where corn variety really does make a difference is in different types of corn whiskey. So, I'm familiar with these things all from my collection. So, Balcones Bay Blue is made from roasted blue corn, not very old in age after they distill it and put it in the barrel, but it is corny and they say made from roasted heirloom blue corn. And it tastes different than other corn whiskeys, that is for sure. And then this Abasolo Mexican whiskey. It's made from 100% ancestral corn, it says. And I'll show the labels of these things, but it has a name I can't even pronounce. Caca Huazintle is the name of the corn variety that they're using there. And this tastes different than anything else that I've ever tasted. And then we have Garrison Brothers Texas Straight Bourbon Whiskey, which is made from #1 Panhandle White. So that sounds like something close to Oklahoma, Texas. So it's a distinct variety of corn that they put in here. And all these flavors are distinct to their distilleries, that's for sure. So the corn variety is important, but they're also doing a fermentation, a distillation, and oak aging. So all those things contribute something, but the real distinctive, I think, in most of these is really the corn variety. And finally, we have Iron Root Harbinger, also from Texas. And these are corn geeks and whiskey geeks who do this stuff. We put this together. So let's see what they say. Flagship bourbon showcasing heirloom corns bursting with complexity. I know one of the flavoring corns in this is only a couple % of something called Bloody Butcher corn. So I don't know what the other corn varieties are that make up the bulk, but one of the flavoring things is a red corn called Bloody Butcher corn. So just wanted to point out that corn varieties are a big deal and very important and a major contributor of flavor in other areas. So I'm going to go back through and come up with final decisions on these things. So on the Fireworks Orchard Blossom, not very good left-handed. I need practice. It is corny and good and almost buttery. It keeps suggesting itself as a tasting note, so I must be picking up something. Just really good. I'm glad I have a lot, because I don't have a lot of this thing. I think these are fairly similar. So I am going to put together some sort of rainbow blend at the end and pop a big rainbow. But we aren't there yet. So on to the Amish Country Purple. think it's a little bit stronger flavor than the fireworks, and really appealing. Grainy, really is buttery. There's a hint of an earthiness, maybe a suggestion of some kind of nuttiness, and maybe I'm just confusing the oiliness with a waxy mouthfeel from a walnut or a peanut or something like that. But more things are in there or suggested than any of the other popcorns that we've had before. So those two are very similar. I like them. When I looked at all the kernels and everything and tried to figure out what's going on, these look very red, but there's a dark one every once in a while. And these say purple, and lots of them tend to the purple side or to black, blackish, very dark purple. But the ones that are the lightest in the red color are indistinguishable from these, the red ones that are in here. So I'm thinking there's something very similar about the variety, a hybrid, a breed, a cultivar, and they end up looking similar on the outside, and then when you pop them, they end up similar looking on what used to be the inside. So I'm thinking they're very similar. And then this is a little bit different. And did I cleanse? I don't think so. Now, right-handed, I should be able to hit my mouth okay. Stronger flavor. And a good belt of salt, which is now turning into a ham or a bacon. There's a smokiness, an umami flavor that is not overt. It's a little under the radar, under the corn, under the salt. But it's a strong hint of it, that's for sure. Smoky, earthy, umami things. So that's surviving. So very interesting. I'm having fun in this series. I was a little worried in the first one where the yellow and the white weren't very different. And the two reds weren't all that different, but I could distinguish. So today's is wonderful. I would recommend all three of these, and people will find flavors in there that they like. And if you did butter or other seasonings, they might be too much for these. Some of these flavors are subtle, but people do what they want. So this has been interesting. I've really liked it. There's lots more coming in the future. We probably might get up to 10 or 12 episodes here. So watch out for all those. And cheers. Pop till you drop.